Hi, Rose Davidson here, and welcome to the podcast. This episode originally aired as a video on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/doesbiz, Mums in Business with Rose Davidson. Welcome, Sharlene, to the interview series for 2018. How are you?
Magnificently magnificent. Thanks for asking, Rose.
Oh, as always. So before we get into the interview part of the series, I'd just like to tell everyone a little bit about you. So Sharlene is a born and bred South Aussie, and among her many achievements and passions, Sharlene is a founding member of the Healing Through Love initiative. She is a multi-passionate entrepreneur who runs a business coaching program, a keynote speaker on all things mindset, runs a successful multi-level marketing business, and facilitates a weekly beauty school. Sharlene is also the serving chief of the Speakers Institute of South Australia tribe. She loves face-to-face interaction, assisting others to develop themselves in finding their voice to share their message, is an enthusiastic community advocate involving a wide range of projects, and also keen to help others when she can. My goodness, and you just have your fingers in so many pies, Sharlene. How do you manage everything?
Oh, I love it. Every day is interesting. No day is the same. It's ever evolving. It's lots of fun. I'm really enjoying the journey.
Great. And do you outsource any of your work?
A little bit. I am actually looking to outsource more of my work. So, Rose, that's where you come into it. And did you want me to talk about that now? We can talk about that later.
We can talk about that later.
Okay.
So among your many talents, as I said, you run a successful business coaching program. When did you actually begin that program?
That's a great question. Well, I've been coaching all of my life, and as my family and friends have pointed out, when I went public with my business coaching business, they're like, well, you know, you've been doing it all your life, you might as well give it a name. So as young as, even through primary school, and then when I started playing sports, I was coaching in the sports area. So I've always been in the program, and for the last 28 years I've been involved in my own multi-level marketing business, and that is a coaching business as well. So I've always been a coach, but formally I started about a year and a half as a business mindset coach, but I've been doing it for a very long time.
Okay, so who does your coaching business serve, and what do you coach, basically?
Yeah, so everything I coach is around mindset. So I find in business, you know, we take one step forward and it's two steps back. And we've been taught for a very long time that business is business. Well, in fact, that's not accurate. Business is personal. So that's what we do. We work with personal habits, tools and techniques to create a life that thrives. So time and time again, I see small business entrepreneurs, you know, they crash and they burn because they're not taking care of themselves in the self-care area. They are sabotaging themselves some on a grand scale, and that's because they don't have the mindset in place they need to upscale. So we have a look at their money mindset, we have a look at decision-making, procrastination, we have a look also on an energetic level, what's happening. So who do I serve? People in business, predominantly women, but I do have male clients as well. They don't play so much in the Facebook space. They mainly are person to person. Most of my clients are local to South Australia. I do have a few interstate clients and one now overseas client, which is very exciting.
That's exciting.
And so most of the work is done face-to-face or through Zoom. We have a program that they run through, so they learn the basic tools and techniques that they need, and then from there we just help embed those to the next level. So most of them entrepreneurs, soulpreneurs, business owners, in that space.
Wow, that's really, really great, and that's so helpful to businesses. So what challenges did you face in just starting up this business, and how did you overcome those challenges?
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know. So when I began this business, it was basically to become a public speaker, so to work in that realm. And then I didn't realise how much time, effort, and energy was going to be spent behind the computer. So I thought being a public speaker was basically standing in front of people talking. 99% of the time is actually behind on a laptop. And so I went through a very, very steep learning curve of how to put it all together. And that's what I help people with too. So people that want to be in that public speaking area, I help them with those processes as well.
So are you still finding those challenges that running this business, or have you smoothed most of them out?
Yeah, so I have an expectation that everything's going to work out, and I'm always met with that expectation. So one way or another, things work out. I've taught myself not to be too attached to how things happen. So, I learn a lot on a daily basis. I find journaling really helps me. So I learn my lessons by journaling and then re-journaling, which is basically a process of rereading your journals and then putting it into a bullet point so that you can learn from yourself. And it's very, very steep learning curve. So yes, learning every day, loving the learning and loving to share the learning as well.
Excellent. It's something, I mean, I don't journal as a rule. I find it, I don't know, I just write thoughts down every day, but people are into journaling and they find it quite therapeutic. So, yeah, I don't know. I just go and bash the cat or kick the husband or something. Doesn't really matter. No, not really.
So for me, the reason why I journal is it just speeds the process up of learning. So what I find is that it makes you aware of patterns around what's really happening. So instead of things taking a really long time to learn, I can learn a lesson much quicker by journaling and then rereading my journaling so that I can actually, I can learn faster. And I've been able to identify family patterns. I've been able to identify my shadow self a lot easier and exactly how I'm responding to things that are happening. So if you have a look at my business curve of where I've started and how fast I've grown, that's directly in line with the fact that I journal. And I don't just journal writing it down. I do like energetically what it's like when you write it down. There's something really nice about that. But I also journal voice to text on my phone. So if I've got something that I've gone, aha, isn't that interesting? I'll do voice to text into notes, or I will video myself, do a video cam. And so that way my learnings are spread out all over the place, but it really does help me learn faster.
Oh, that's great tip.
Hopefully so I don't make the mistake twice.
Well, thanks for sharing. That sounds great. That's probably a really good, self-awareness tip, a business tip. That perhaps we could all take on board. That's really great. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so you also run the multi-level marketing business and beauty school. When did you start that one?
So 28 years ago, I started multi-level marketing, and I'm still doing it today. People go, why are you still doing it? I love doing people's skincare and makeup. I love teaching people how to do their own, and I really love helping girls reach their financial goals, and multi-level marketing can do that for us. So it's been great for business as well. So a lot of the mindset work that I do is teaching to other multi-level marketing companies. And because I've been in that environment for 28 years, I get it. I get what happens. I get that you're your own boss. I get there's no one telling you what to do. I get that the company's giving you incentives and, what are you going to do from where you are now to get to where you want to go? And I get all of those nuances. So it makes me the right person for the job to help other multi-level marketing companies with their mindset challenges. Yeah, I love the whole thing.
So 28 years ago, what challenges did you find starting? I mean, how did you actually start doing it?
Yeah, so, with all multi-level marketing, they say, start with the people that you know, and we still say this today, talk to your friends and family, offer them a facial, offer them a hand massage, offer them a makeup, give them the opportunity to try the product and then go from there. The same rules apply. So the same things, the same challenges that my new consultants have are the same challenges I had 28 years ago, is that most of my friends were a little bit, about using the product. So they were like, I use Lancome and I use Lourdes, and they were dropping all the names of the products that they use. And it wasn't until they had the opportunity to try the products and experience it for themselves to see how amazing they were and how good value for money they were that they actually transferred across. So, but it's all then still about self-esteem and self-worth. So in that space, when you're looking to introduce products to other people, when they're saying no, they're not saying no to you, they're saying no to the opportunity, or they're just saying no, not right now. But when you are not in a great place of self-worth or self-esteem, those no's can actually hurt you and you don't want to move forward. And then you'll find out all sorts of excuses for not moving forward and you'll self-sabotage. So again, lots of mindset work to get me from where I was in the business when I started to where I am now and where I still am. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, mindset. So mindset seems to be the theme through everything that you do. Yeah, I have been to a couple of your workshops, and mindset really does have a lot to do with everything that you do. So if you're not in the right space, and your head's not in the right space, then you're not going to progress, and you're just not going to move forward in your business life or your personal life, basically.
Well, yes, that's true. Sometimes it looks like as if you're moving forward, and in fact, you might up level and get to a stage where it looks like as if you've got it all together. And then, and I've experienced this myself, you'll crash and burn because you will self-sabotage because you'll bring yourself down to the level that you think you need to be at. So, and I see this happening a lot in businesses, and I've also managed to destroy personally $1 million business, I should say. So I've been there, done that. I know what it's like, and I now can, because of the journaling, see the patterns of behaviour that happened that got me there and what needed to change to bring a different life. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so your latest big adventure is being the chief of the Speakers Institute of South Australia. How did that come about?
Well, so I, aside from all the other fun things I like to do, I crew for lots of big names here in Adelaide. It gives me I really believe that proximity is power. So just being in the vicinity of people that are doing the things that you want to do, you can learn so much. So anytime there's an opportunity to crew for an event, I'll always put my hand up. And, the magic that you get from the behind the scenes work at these big events is magical. Now, that's how I met Sam Cawthorne. I crewed for an event with Stuart Ziddell, and I met him, and he's a public speaker. He's actually, I think he's probably one of the top public speakers in Australia, for the amount of money that he earns per hour. And, I went along to his boot camp, and I was like, wow, okay, this is great. I want to take the messages and the lessons that I've learnt in my 51 years and share them with the world. So I used his platform to get there. And I've been doing a really good job in that area, and he recognised that and made me the chief of South Australia. So that means that I take care of a tribe of speakers, and we're all speakers. And we speak. So what we do is we get together once a month, and we go through our pitch. Each month a different person gets up and does a presentation. The group, I then give them feedback, gems and opportunities, and then we learn a new aspect of speaking. So every month we learn something new. And at the moment we've got a great special on. If you are a speaker or you want to be a speaker and you want to be in that zone, we've got a special for a whole 12-month program, which is only $120. That finishes on the 15th of July, so in a couple of weeks' time. And for that, they get a USB with about $600 or $700 worth of information on it. Plus, they also get a year membership to the tribe, and and stacks more too. But that's $120. It's a no-brainer. So if you're in the public speaking space, you need to be part of that tribe.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. Special. Wow, it's so reasonably priced. Because normally it's like $15. It's usually $15 a time to go, and So it's great value.
It's now $30. It's now $30, Rose.
Really? Wow.
Because the other states increased their prices, and in South Australia we dragged our feet as long as we physically possibly could until they've gone, no, you need to change your prices in line with the other states. So the price is now $30 a session. The first time's free. And a year membership is $120. So, but if you compare that to other professional memberships, they're like $500 and $600 for the year, and one session is $80. So we are really reasonably priced. I think we're different than the others though, because we're run by people that speak. So it's a group of people that are already public speakers, and it's very much of a tribe feel. It's very inclusive. People love being there. You learn very quickly, and you're in the environment with other people that are doing it. So it's not like, just learning out of a textbook or learning from a Facebook Live. You're actually in the environment, learning from people. And we actually, the last group we had, which was a couple of weeks ago, we had people exchanging gigs. So someone else had an opportunity for people to do some TV work. Others had opportunities for some public speaking. So they were actually exchanging leads. So you don't get that anywhere else. It's really good.
So the environment that's there when you're giving the feedback, is it's obviously friendly feedback. It's not picky and you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So we have a structured format for giving feedback. First of all, we start with gems. So saying where they went well, what that worked for, and whoever wants to give feedback stands up and gives that feedback. And then we give opportunities for growth. So it's always said, oh, I like what you said. However, have you considered, very, very positive. It's really, really great feedback, and it really does make a difference. Last month we did a session on passion, and what we had the girls and guys do is they had to put their hand inside of a bag and they pulled out a random item. Now, they didn't know what the item was, but what they had to do for 30 seconds is speak passionately about that item. We had toilet rolls, toothbrushes, we had, oh my God, you couldn't imagine what was inside that bag. And it was great just to get people to experience just how your body reacts, what you say, what you do with your body gestures when you're talking from a place of passion. And it really did help people up-level their presentations by just injecting some passion. So different exercise. Every month we have a different area of public speaking that we cover.
Excellent. Well, I should come along sometime, I guess, and see how we go. Okay, so as a busy woman, as you are, because you've got your finger in so many things, how do you ground yourself and prevent yourself from becoming overwhelmed and find that time for self-care, other than the spa?
That's a great question, Rose. Okay, so I'm an absolute advocate for self-care, and in my Thrive Tribe, which are my client members, we make sure every Tuesday we really talk about self-care. So I have a daily ritual of prayer and meditation and visualization. I take care of myself quite personally, do the hair, do the nails, do the makeup, do all of the girly things as well, and I also take time out for myself. So we had a huge weekend, but we were in bed by 8:30 last night. Now, we don't normally do that, but we had a really, really big weekend and we just needed time out. So we might curl up in bed and watch some videos. And then, but we're up very, very early in the morning too. So, and as you pointed out, after I do my morning routine, then the next thing that I do is jump into the spa. So we sit there with our mobile phones and we do our social media for the day, and the other bits and pieces have a little bit of a business meeting. Let's call it a business meeting. And then we get on with the day. But it really is, if I don't have my bucket filled up, I can't fill anyone else's bucket up. And I make sure, if you have a look at my diary, I've got scheduled times which are just for me. Yeah. So aside from scheduling my book work and scheduling my marketing, I have scheduled times which are just for me and for things for me and also my family as well. So, yeah. So self-care for me is also, I do mirror work. So I speak to myself in the mirror, a bit hinky, but it works. And it's the little things, because if I don't love me, I really can't help other people. So you have to start from that place of love and taking care of yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's getting on to our next point about that sometimes life really does give us lemons. And I know in your personal life you've had quite a few of those lemon times. How did you deal with yours, my love?
Yeah, so I have had the gamut of challenges in my life. And, for me, it's all started with love. Yeah, so love of myself and love of my friends and family, and forgiveness, forgiving not just others, but forgiving myself, and then a place of gratitude. So I keep a gratitude journal. I write in my journal gratitude. I do a rampage of gratitude, which is where for 3 minutes, and I put my clock on, and for 3 minutes I just go silly and just say how grateful I am for everything at a really high speed as well. And then sometimes I'll go deep with gratitude and just write a list of 5 or 6 things for each thing that I'm grateful for. So So gratitude, forgiveness and love is what's held me together and got me through the really, really toughest of times. And learning how to step aside from the story, because we are our story. So we have these things that happen to us in our lives and we carry them around with us, and we become them. And then when we meet people, we tell people our story. And then all that does is just perpetuate it. It just takes it to the next level. And with that story comes all of the energies around it. And if we can learn to step away from the story and, walk away from it with the learning as opposed to living the story, we can stop speaking woundology to everybody and we can just speak from a place of love. I know you're laughing at me, but it is true. It does make a huge difference. And then, because we like to speak from our place of wounds, and when we can share that with other people, when we can share our stories with other people, we just compare wounds, we're comparing stories. And it would be lovely if we could be in a different space where we don't have to start there. I do, as you know, when I'm public speaking and when I'm doing my workshops, I do share my wounds with people so they can connect, because what they see now is not the person that I started. It gives them an indication of where I've come from and how I've got here and the tools and techniques I use to get from where I was to where I am now. So I do share that, but as a general rule, it's not something that I have as conversation.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You're always so positive.
Yeah.
So I guess finishing up now, what advice would you have for a mum who is or just any woman who's starting up in business, getting her following on social media, getting clientele, and finding that all-important equilibrium between work and life?
Okay, that's a 3-point question. We're going to do one at a time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this
question.
So what advice would you have for starting their business?
Okay, so first of all, I'd really love everyone to get really clear on your values, because we find ourselves pushed into an area of business or starting up a business that we thought was a good idea. And that sometimes is because someone else mentioned it, or it might be because it's a money thing and that's the reason why we're heading in that direction. Or it could be simply a hobby that you really like doing and you think, wow, okay, I can make money from this. What we need to do is pare back and have a really close look at our values. Like, what are your values? What are the things that are important to you? Because your business that you're about to embark in needs to be totally in line with your values. Like for you, Rose, like you just love helping people.
Yeah, truly. Yeah, I do. And I get great joy out of it.
You do. And that's the reason why you're doing what you do, because you do get so much joy out of making a difference in people's lives. So what you're doing is in line with your values. And if we went through and did a values assessment on you and came up with a list of your values, you would find that a lot of the values in your life are met by the work that you do. So that's why you're doing this work. Yeah. So that's where I would start with everybody is paring back and having a look at your values, and to make sure that you're totally in alignment with what you want to do, because otherwise what will happen is you'll have resistance. I'll give you some examples. So if say, for instance, you want to be a professional singer, great ideas, because you love to sing. If you didn't know that you had to spend hours learning and hours in studios and hours doing this and hours doing that, if you didn't know that was the whole part of the job, then you might not want to do that as an end result. And I think sometimes we start these businesses not really realising how much time, effort, and energy we have to spend doing other things to get us there. So we want to make sure that all that part of the journey that you're going to take is in line with your values. Yeah,
makes sense. Okay, so
next question.
We've read a lot on different Facebook groups about the crickets in social media and getting clientele and so forth. So how does a startup, or even someone that's been in business for a while, how do they get that following? What do they need to do?
Great question. Okay, so first of all, and you ask really good questions, Rose, I was just going to say. So first of all, you need to be speaking directly to your client, okay? So in order to do that, you need to know who your client is. So you need to be really, really clear, and we like to call it your avatar. So who is the person that you'll be serving? So what is a great thing to do is when you very first start is to do what you're going to do and do it for free. Yeah, just so that you can actually figure out who your clients are. So in multi-level marketing, if, say, for instance, you're working for a skincare company, you'll do a whole bunch of facials for people and you'll do them for free. You know, if you're a makeup artist, you'll do a whole bunch of makeups, you'll do them for free. If you're a business coach, you'll see a whole stack of people for free. So these people are then you're going to be able to work out who your avatar is by the people that you've been serving. Yeah, because if they don't need your help at all, well, then they're certainly not going to be your avatar. So when you first start any venture, and I know people go, oh, I don't want to do it for free, I want to start charging, but you need to know who your client is, and to do that you need to have some clients. So, and even people who are now earning, I'll give Tash Corbin as an example. Now she's on her first $1 million year. When she started working, so she does online courses, she first of all went out and helped a whole bunch of friends create online courses. Yeah. So have a look at the Smart Chicks. You know, they went out and created a whole bunch of information for free before they actually set up a process where they can monetize what they're doing. Yeah. So that's what we do. We serve people for free. We give, and then we ask. Yes. So it's all about reciprocity. So we serve some people, we find out how we help them, and then what you do is you survey them. You ask them a series of questions, and with those questions, you want them to be open questions so that they have to language the response. So it's not a yes/no answer, it's a language response, so open questions. And though that language that they give you will be the language of your content. Does that make sense, Rose?
Yeah, perfect sense.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So then what you'll do is with your Facebook, you will then use that language to get their attention. Now, when you're trying to get attention from people in a Facebook community, you're either going to use their pain points or their pleasure points. Unfortunately, humans respond better to pain than they do to pleasure. So you can use pleasure communication, and that is using language of where they want to be. And that's great. Some people can't see themselves there, so they might not get the message. But if you give them their pain and the language that they're speaking, then that will get their attention. Yeah. So the other thing with social media is you can't just spam. You know, gone are the days where you used to be able to spray and pray, like put a message everywhere and hope you'd get some response. And even paid Facebook still isn't getting the response that it needs to. And that's because the messaging isn't right. So you need to service a group of clients for free, survey them so that you can get the language, use that language to create the content to get your message out there to the people. Yeah. The other thing you need to do is give, and then ask. So you need to be out there giving free information. And I hear this from lots of my business clients. Oh, I don't want to tell them that, you know, that's my secret sauce. I don't want to tell them that. That's my, you know, the thing that I'm going to be doing in my next webinar. No, it doesn't work that way. We need to give the best. Yes. So this is how I love to imagine it. Imagine you're going on a date. All right. So you want to wear your best clothes, have your best hair, have your best makeup. You want to be your best person on the first date, don't you?
Exactly and perfectly and absolutely.
So that's what we do when we meet clients, when we're out there in social media, when we're out there networking. We want to give the best of what we've got to give. Don't be worried you don't have any more. I can guarantee you've got so much more where that came from. Give them the best and the rest will come. Trust me, I know, I can speak from experience. Yeah. So
Okay.
does that answer question 2?
Oh, most certainly. More than.
Okay. So question 3
was about
part 3 of the question.
Equilibrium. So how does a busy woman find the time between work and life? You know, how can they separate one from the other without sacrificing both?
Yeah, and I notice this with a lot of my clients. I mean, I don't have young children anymore, but I do notice with lots of my clients that they work, you know, some of them work a normal job during the day, and then they have the thing that they want to do, the business they want to get started, their gem they want to get started, and then they've also got the kids to deal with. And I find what they're doing is once they've got the children to bed, that's when they're then getting on the computer, they're getting up and they're writing their content and they're writing on their programs, and they're not finishing some of them till midnight. So I do see this all the time with people who are starting up a business. It's like a jet airplane trying to get off the ground. You do need to put more effort in to get up off the ground, and then once you're off the ground, it's more plain sailing. I see this also in multi-level marketing. You really have to push the grunt in and do extra shows, see extra people, do a lot more networking to get off the ground before it actually taking care of itself. In that process, though, what you need to do, and my personal opinion is outsource as much as you possibly can. And I see people, once their business is a little bit up off the ground and they're doing everything and they've got all these plates spinning, I see them not wanting to let go of those things and hold them in fear that someone won't do it the right way, that it's going to cost me more money. That's not the truth of it. Is if you actually start with processes, so everything you do, you only want to do it once. So if you do an email to a client as a welcome email, you want to write that as a template so that you can keep reusing that. If you bring new people into your business, you're going to have so if you're in a multi-level marketing business, you're going to have an onboarding system. You're going to send a text message, you're going to send an email, you're going to do a Facebook introduction, you're going to introduce them to your group. So that you do the same things over and over again. What I find is people don't set themselves up with systems for email sequences, systems for what they're doing in Facebook, and scheduling things. So if you're going to do it once, or if you're going to do anything and you're going to get it right the first time, actually write a procedure for it so that you know what you're doing. And then when you're ready to have other people step in to do those parts of your job, it's much easier to say, here you go, Rose. These are the things that I'm challenged with. This is the idea behind it. Can you jump in and move on from there? So if you can start writing those procedures as soon as you possibly can with every single thing that you do, then you'll find it easier to onboard a VA and outsource everything from your business. And I work with two ends. I work with people that are just starting, have a few clients in the middle that are upscaling and up-leveling, and then I have some clients right at the top end, and they think completely differently. They outsource everything.
No, and they're still making loads of money.
They're making millions. So the difference is that down here we don't know what we don't know, so we're holding on to things and we don't even know what we're doing. But if you could work out procedures at this end for every single thing that you do, it's going to make it easier for you. When you're at this level, turn those procedures into having a VA and having other people come in and do that work for you. And then by the time you get to that level, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But there's lots of other things that they do differently, about language, about lots of other things, about how they think as well. We'll talk about that another day. But definitely the outsourcing, they outsource absolutely everything.
Yeah. Okay. So what are your business plans, if you have any, for the future?
Oh, so many plans. So I have run a personal Facebook group called the Thrive Tribe, and in there we are going to be morphing to a new direction. So we're going to be having much more regular webinars for the people in that group. We also have a membership group as well, but we've discovered what works best is one-on-one. So for the people that are in the paid subscription, instead of working in a group environment, we're going to be working on a one-on-one level with them. We're just finding much more leverage because everyone's challenge is slightly different. So that's really good bang for their buck, because that one's only $29 a month, so they're still getting me for that price. And I'm actually working on some online programs that will be released shortly. And so I'm a bit excited. There's lots happening in my business mindset space and the public speaking space. I've got a gig interstate, which I'm a bit excited about, talking about one of the things I'm very passionate about, yay. And I've got quite a few gigs here in Adelaide coming up in the next couple of weeks. So fortunately or fortunately, a lot of the work that I do, the client pays me, and so it's in-house, so you can't come and see what I do. But what we are doing is we're filming a lot of it, and then we're making snippets so that we can run that for inside the group, so the group can actually see what's happening in that space.
Oh, so, wonderful.
Yeah,
wonderful.
So a lot more of the work I'm getting is corporate. Yeah,
excellent.
Yeah, loving it.
Okay, and just finishing up now, Sharlene, do you have any events or offers other than your Speakers Tribe that you would like to share with us?
Yes. So if you are a soulpreneur, entrepreneur, a mumpreneur, a business owner, and you're finding that business is one step forward and two steps back, then join me in the Thrive Tribe. You can come and have a look for free, and then a membership, which is only $29 $6 a month. For that, you get me, which is good fun. And Rose and I have spent quality time together. Yeah. And it's great. I have the ability to see through what's really happening and identify what challenges that you need to face head on, what we can identify and move through, and what we need to work on. So, yeah, together we make a business that thrives by sharing tools and techniques that really make a difference. They're simple, very simple, and I think that's the reason why it makes them so impactful, because they're very easy things to learn to lift you to that next level and make a difference in your life.
Terrific. Thank you with that. Thank you, Sharlene, for joining me today. I will be sure to add your Thrive Tribe link to the video when it's finished being prettied up and doing all the things that I need to do to it. So you enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk very soon.
Thank you.
Bye, darling.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. I really do appreciate your time. I look forward to sharing the next episode with you very soon. Bye for now.